Some people are always chasing after money. Is money important, or is a relationship? This is the question that our movie, Penny Pinchers, asks today, which is a 2011 Korean romantic movie. In this movie, a girl teaches a broke guy how to earn money. We will find out what happens next in this movie. Before starting the video, I request that if you like my content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It provides a lot of support to the channel. Now fasten your seatbelts and enjoy this journey. The movie has started, and our main character, whose name is Ji-woong, was seen drunk after waking up in the morning. Then we see another main character, whose name is Hong-sil. She is Ji-woong's neighbor. Seeing empty liquor bottles on his terrace, she asks Ji-woong, "Can I take these bottles?" Ji-woong asks, "Will you earn something by taking them?" She says, "I will sell them." Ji-woong asks, "What will you earn from such a small bottle?" Hong-sil then shows him the entire calculation. She says, "The amount I will earn by selling these bottles can run the electricity of your house for a whole year." Hong-sil is a very smart and practical girl. To earn money, she uses many tricks. Ji-woong completes his graduation, and nowadays, he is trying to find a job in the city. Although his grades were not good at all, he still applies to top companies. He gives interviews in different places, but he didn't like any of his subjects. Ji-woong doesn't have any good skills, which is why no company will give him a job. In the next scene, we see that Ji-woong was on a call with his mother. In this conversation, he lied to his mother and told her that he needs money to apply to different companies. He was asking for $800 for this. His mother was surprised and asked, "Do you have to pay money for an interview?" Ji-woong replied, "These companies do business like this." His mother is very sweet and said, "To apply to big companies, you will have to pay even more money. This time she will send $1,000 instead of $800. Ji-woong shamelessly takes the money. After that, he went to meet his friends. All of his friends are jobless like him. They all gather on Sundays to have fun. A new girl had joined their group. Her name is Young-ju. Young-ju says, "I got a job. I won't be coming here next Sunday." Ji-woong feels a little inferior because of this. He likes Young-ju, and to impress her, he says that he also got a job. She asks him, "Where do you work?" Ji-woong hadn't thought about the answer before. He saw a poster of SK Telecom in front of him, so he said, "I work there." When Ji-woong comes home at night, his house owner asks for rent. Ji-woong tells her to deduct it from his deposit, but his deposit has already run out. The house owner refuses to accept it, but Ji-woong tries to flatter her by saying, "You are so cute and your skin is glowing." Ji-woong uses this tactic to delay the conversation. As we know, Hong-sil lives next to Ji-woong and overhears their conversation. She gets the idea that the government provides money to the homeless. After a few days, she contacts Ji-woong's house owner and takes his flat on rent. Due to this, Ji-woong has to vacate his house. Whatever compensation Ji-woong will receive, Hong-sil has a trick to take it from him. The next day, Ji-woong's house owner tells him, "You need to pay a $5,000 deposit, and if you can't, you'll have to vacate the house." Ji-woong thought about taking a loan from the bank, but they had already given him a lot of money for his education. Ji-woong sees a contact number in a public toilet. This is the contact of kidney buyers. He thinks about it but realizes that he can't do it. After a while, he receives a call from Young-ju. Ji-woong and Young-ju went on a date. During the date, Young-ju was flirting with him. After a while, Ji-woong receives a call from his sister. A boar had entered his mother's restaurant and destroyed everything. His mother was very worried. Ji-woong didn't care much about it. He asks his sister, "Today, Mom was supposed to send me $100. What happened to that?" His sister cuts the call in anger. Ji-woong's date with Young-ju was successful. After the date, they both come to Young-ju's house. They were both drunk, so they start making out. Young-ju tells him, "Go and get some protection." Ji-woong in his excitement runs to the store. The cost of protection was $2, but he only had $1.5. He gave his card for payment, but it didn't have enough balance. In desperation, he takes the box and tries to run away. Later, he realizes that he did not take the protection, but instead took a box of mouth fresheners. His chance for the night was gone, and he couldn't go back to Youngju. In parallel, Hong-sil was also with a banker named Gwon-woo. Hong-sil had been saving her money for many years. Gwon-woo looks at her investment and tells her, "You can't deposit more than $150,000 into your account. You will have to transfer the remaining money to another account." Hong-sil's mother had passed away and her father was a gambler, so she couldn't trust anyone. They were in a coffee shop for their meeting. There too, Hong-sil was stealing sugar. An employee saw her and she said, "I like a lot of sugar in my coffee." She had to drink a coffee with so much sugar in it. The next day, Ji-woong has to empty his house, and he leaves his belongings outside. In the next scene, we see Hong-sil sitting under a tree, grieving. We will learn more about this in the movie. At night, Ji-woong was sleeping outside the house. Hong-sil calls out to him and offers him drinks and dinner. As we know, Hong-sil needs someone she can trust to keep her money safe. She invites Ji-woong and asks him, "Do you want to earn money?" Ji-woong is very interested in this. He wants to make $5,000 in 2 months. Hong-sil tells him, "You can easily earn it. You just have to do what I tell you." She gives him a tent to sleep in for the night. Ji-woong asks her, "Why are you helping me so much? Do you like me?" Hong-sil ignores his question. The next morning, they get to work. Hong-sil tells Ji-woong to sell all his belongings. She also wanted to sell his bike, but Ji-woong refuses to sell it. Ji-woong says, "This is very personal to me." Hong-sil tries to explain to him that he doesn't need it. But Ji-woong doesn't listen to her. He says he has even given his bike a name. He calls his bike Audi. Hong-sil also lets him keep the bike. After selling everything they could, Hong-sil and Ji-woong opened an account in their names using the money they earned. Although the account was in someone else's name, Hong-sil could withdraw money from it under Ji-woong's name. They then drove to a restaurant where Hong-sil mentioned that a movie was filmed there, and they had a poster from the movie that they could sell to the restaurant. Hong-sil asked for a high price for the poster, but the owner refused. They then went to various abandoned places and took whatever they could find. After a while, they returned to the same restaurant, and this time Ji-woong tried to sell the poster to the owner at a lower price. The owner finally agreed to buy it, and Hong-sil and Ji-woong were very happy. They sell all the scrap they picked up, and Ji-woong says, "What we're doing is somewhat illegal. Can't we make money in a better way?" Hong-sil says, "There's nothing right or wrong, it's all a matter of perspective." That night, Hong-sil gave Ji-woong $100 as pocket money, and Ji-woong was quite happy with it. Hong-sil asks Ji-woong, "What do guys like in girls? Girls who talk more or girls who talk less?" Ji-woong replied, "Girls who talk less." Hong-sil was going to meet her banker whom she likes, so she would talk less. She deposits all her money with the banker. The banker asks, "Do you want to reward Ji-woong with some money in his account?" Hong-sil was silent till now, but this time she starts speaking. She says, "I am teaching him how to earn money. That will be his biggest reward. If I will give him money directly, he won't learn much. He is too greedy when it comes to money." That night, Ji-woong comes to Hong-sil and gives her mascara as a gift. He says, "You will look even prettier with this on." Hong-sil thought it was stupid. That night, she took Ji-woong with her to work. Ji-woong told her, "You always do this." Ji-woong asked her, "How was your date?" Hong-sil said, "It wasn't a date. I can't afford to do things like that with someone." Ji-woong said, "Relationships are very important in life. If you don't have a relationship, how will you be happy?" Hong-sil said, "Even people in relationships aren't always happy, so what's the point of it all?" After this, we are shown in different scenes that these two are also earning a lot of money together. They work at weddings and bring food from there. They go to a public badminton court, blow a fuse, and then sell glowing shuttle to those people. Everything was going fine like this. One day, Hong-sil's father comes to meet her. Hong-sil's father is a gambler. So she tells him, "I don't have any money." Her father says, "Today I want to give you money." They were talking when Ji-woong arrived. Hong-sil's father thought that these two were in a relationship, and he was very happy to see them together. Seeing this, he gives all the money to Ji-woong. Ji-woong asks Hong-sil, "Can I keep this money?" And she says, "You can keep it and see what will happen." Later that night, Hong-sil's father comes back to Ji-woong's place. He had lost all the money he had that day in gambling. He came back to take back the money he had given to Ji-woong. Because of his gambling habit, he lost everything he had. This is the reason why Hong-sil is crazy about money. The next day, we see Hong-sil going on a date with the banker. She didn't have much money to spend, so she takes him for a walk near the river. The banker suggests going to a concert, but Hong-sil says that she feels uncomfortable around too many people. As they continue talking and walking, they end up going far away, and the banker's feet start hurting. Meanwhile, Ji-woong was on a date with Young-ju. When they were together in the evening, Young-ju saw a beautiful pair of shoes, but they were too expensive. She wanted them, but Ji-woong didn't say anything. Young-ju became sad and said, "I'm going home now." Ji-woong then decides to buy her the shoes, putting aside his own feelings. After receiving the shoes, Young-ju becomes very happy and wants to go to Ji-woong's house with him. Ji-woong then takes her to his friend's house. Suddenly, his friend remembers that his mother is coming to visit him today. Ji-woong and Young-ju were together when his friend's mother arrived. Ji-woong pretends with Young-ju that she is his own mother, so he was giving strange answers in front of her to make sure Young-ju doesn't find out. After a short while, his friend's girlfriend arrives. The mother of the friend says, "It's because of this girlfriend that my son is not getting a job." Later, Ji-woong explains to Young-ju that his mother was talking about his cousin, and his mother is very concerned for him. When Ji-woong comes home, Hong-sil asks him about the money. Ji-woong says, "My friend needed the money for a surgery, so I had to give it to him." This makes Hong-sil angry and she starts yelling at Ji-woong. Ji-woong tells her, "What I do with my money is none of your business. And tell me, why isn't my account in my name? Are you trying to trick me?" After this, there is an argument between the two. The next morning, like a couple, their anger subsides and everything gets normal, and they both head out for work. Today, they were both donating blood. While donating blood, Hong-sil falls asleep and looks very beautiful, and Ji-woong can't take his eyes off her. At night, Ji-woong asks Hong-sil, "What will you do with all the money you're saving?" Hong-sil replies, "I will figure out a way to make more money with this money." Ji-woong says, "You're not normal." He continues, "In life, there are two types of things we have to do because they are right, and things we want to do. At some time or another, we should do what we want to do. You have to do everything, that's why you do it. If you keep doing this, you'll lose yourself in all these things." One day, the banker called Hong-sil and invited her to a concert. The banker had already bought the concert tickets, so Hong-sil agreed to go. Hong-sil got ready and went to meet the banker. However, when she arrived, she found out that the banker was there with his girlfriend. This made Hong-sil angry, and she left the concert. When she returned home, Ji-woong noticed that she was upset. Ji-woong enjoys watching TV, but Hong-sil didn't have one. So, he took her to a store and bought a TV for her. They sat outside and watched a movie together using the TV's remote control. When Hong-sil was younger, she used to watch movies with her mother. Her mother would always become emotional and start crying, and Hong-sil would cry with her. This time while watching the movie, Ji-woong gets emotional and starts crying. Seeing this, Hong-sil laughs a lot. Their movie date was perfect. One day, while Ji-woong is working at a wedding, he sees Young-ju. He had lied to Young-ju before, which leads to a fight between them. After the fight, Young-ju goes off with Ji-woong's wealthy friend. Seeing this, Ji-woong laughs a lot because he knows that Young-ju is only with his friend for money. In the movie, we saw Hong-sil sitting under a tree grieving. Today, she is with Ji-woong at the same tree. Hong-sil tells him that when her mother died, they didn't have money to cremate her. She somehow managed to arrange the money but couldn't scatter her mother's ashes anywhere. While coming back home, she saw the tree and scattered her mother's ashes there. Since that day, she comes here to remember her mother. Hong-sil has tied a ribbon around the tree. Later, when they were leaving, some people came to cut down the tree. Hong-sil asked them why they were doing this, and they said, "A golf course is going to be built here." Hong-sil stopped them from cutting down the tree and decided to use all her savings to buy the land. She asked Ji-woong about this decision, and he said that this land was very important to her and that she should buy it. The next day, she met the landowner and gave him some advance payment to buy the land. Her banker tells her that if she withdraws all her money after a week, she will get good returns. Hong-sil agrees, and they celebrated buying the land together. Ji-woong asks her why she helped him that night. She said, "It's because I felt sad for you." Hong-sil avoids discussing anything sad and asks Ji-woong to sing for her. Ji-woong sings very badly, making Hong-sil laugh a lot. The next day, Ji-woong meets with his previous house owner again and learns that it was Hong-sil who had kicked him out of the house. This makes Ji-woong very angry. He confronts Hong-sil and asks her if she was trying to scam him. Hong-sil confesses that it was her plan all along, and Ji-woong takes back all his money from her. Ji-woong decides to leave Hong-sil and go his own way, but then Hong-sil receives some news. She finds out that her banker has run away with all her money. Hong-sil told the police everything. The police said the banker's girlfriend was a big scammer too. They both teamed up and ran away after the scam. Hong-sil, disturbed by this news, went back to the bank. The bank manager told her, "We cannot take responsibility for this. You were also involved in a fake investment with him. Did you have any connection with the banker?" Ji-woong was hearing all of this from outside and didn't like it. He entered the manager's cabin and started beating him. Ji-woong still wanted to support Hong-sil. Hong-sil was going back home in frustration. Ji-woong followed her. Hong-sil told him, "Please don't follow me, or I'll kill you." But Ji-woong didn't listen, and Hong-sil jumped off the bridge. Ji-woong also jumped to save Hong-sil. Since Ji-woong didn't know how to swim, Hong-sil had to save him. Hong-sil took Ji-woong to the hospital and then went to see her mother's tree for the last time. Ji-woong had also recovered by this time. Ji-woong couldn't find her anywhere, so he also went to the tree. He said, "Why did you leave me?" Hong-sil said, "What will I do by staying with you? No one can save me from my troubles. I have no money," and she left from there. A few days later, the banker was caught by the police. Ji-woong was called by the police. Hong-sil was not going to keep any money with Ji-woong, but she had left some money. This allowed Ji-woong to get his money back. Now Ji-woong had options to make his life better with that money. Then he started to wander off. He went to the place where Hong-sil's mother's tree was. There, laborers were about to cut down the tree. Ji-woong told the contractor that he wanted to buy the tree. The contractor said, "It will cost you $10,000. But Ji-woong only had $5,000. He requested him a lot, but the contractor refused. Ji-woong said, "Give me some time. I'll try to get the money as soon as possible." He called his friends and asked all his knowns for money, but even after many attempts, he had very little money. Ji-woong then sold his scooter. Before his time ran out, he was able to buy the tree. The next morning, Hong-sil saw Ji-woong sleeping in front of her house. She asked him, "What are you doing here? Where is your money?" Ji-woong said, "I can do whatever I want with my money. It's none of your business." Hong-sil replied, "You don't know how hard we worked to save that money." Ji-woong then showed her the tree he had bought. At night he planted it in front of Hong-sil's house. When she saw it, she started crying. Ji-woong said, "It took you 5 years to save that money last time. If we work together, we can save that much money in just 2 years." Hong-sil asked him, "Why do you want to help me?" Ji-woong said, "I feel so bad for you that I could die for you." And then Ji-woong confessed his love to Hong-sil. Hong-sil asks him, "What kind of girl do you like?" Ji-woong says, "I like beautiful girls, just like you." Upon hearing this, Hong-sil kisses him. In this beautiful moment, the movie ends. Both of them are happy together. This movie tells us that money is not everything in life. Relationships are even more important in life. Everyone needs money, but if you have a partner with whom you can go on life's journey, that is very important. Other things will come in life anyway. With this message, we end today's video. If you like this video, please like it. I will keep bringing such videos, so please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification. We will meet again with a new movie. Until then, goodbye and take care of yourself.